Good morning, y'all. Welcome to the Positivity Push with Antonio Santoro. I've got my guest, Kristen Hopkins, is in the studio. I'm excited. This is going to be a great show. So as y'all come in, y'all know what to do. Y'all know to share. That's what we're doing right now. Share in the broadcast, the Positivity Push. Thank you guys for joining. And sit. We're good. Awesome. Thank you. And we're going to sit back and enjoy this hour of positive vibes. It's going to be really good today, y'all. Share. All right, cool.
It's tricky.
Yeah.
It really is.
Rocco, say hello to everybody this morning.
Hey, how are you?
Awesome. Y'all know Rocco. Y'all know he's a faithful vet here in the radio industry. Good morning, Mario. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. So, again, my name is Antonio Santoro. Thanks for joining us. Y'all like this Facebook page, The Positivity Push. And then also feel free to go to my website, thepositivitypush.com, for more information. It's really good this morning. So we are going to start here shortly.
Sharing right now.
Awesome. So this is the order of the show, and I usually follow this throughout the show, but if you, like, these are some questions and stuff, so as I'm talking, you can just kind of think about, what's next. Okay. Good morning, Mario. Thank you for joining us. Share this broadcast on your Facebook so all can enjoy the Positivity Push this morning. Alrighty. Share. Okay. Here we go.
Just treat me better. After all, we're doing this together.
To get your high blood pressure, visit heart.org/blood pressure. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
Hey, WCOM family, this is Gary Jones, host of Get With The Program Radio Show. You're listening to WCOM FM, 103.5 FM, Carborough, Chapel Hill.
Welcome to your weekend winning wake-up call, The Positivity Push with Antonio Santoro, live on 103.5 WCOM, Chapel Hill and Carborough's Community Radio. Are you ready to feel encouraged, inspired, and empowered? Well, you're at the right place. This is The Positivity Push with your host, Antonio Santoro, live on 103 FM, WCOM, Chapel Hill, Carborough's Community Radio, also on the Positivity Push Facebook page. Join us in the studio, facebook.com/The Positivity Push. It's your winning wake-up call this morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sit back, relax, and be positive. Alrighty. good. So, something I was going to say. I forgot. Good morning, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us while I remember what I'm going to say. Thank you for the welcome to the Positivity Push with my guest, Kristen Hopkins. She is, say hello to everybody. Hi. She is thebomb.com, y'all. I met her a couple months ago, and it's been like, I've loved watching, and she's just such a dynamic person in society, in the kingdom. It's really, really awesome and an honor to have her here. So I want you guys to do me a favor. Again, share this broadcast on your Facebook page. Get people to watch this hour of positivity. Thank you guys. Cheryl McNeil's on. Terry Edwards, thank you for joining me. My mom, thank you for joining me, being so faithful. Appreciate you guys. If you guys have, good morning, Jerry. Appreciate you joining. We are getting to it. Yes, thank you for joining me this morning, Jerry. Thank you. Brandy Harrison, Alan Johnson. Thank y'all for joining us this morning. So feel free to share this broadcast. And I invited some other people. Thanks so much for inviting. Invite. It's good stuff. So this is going to be a really good show. Again, we're talking about purpose, which we all have. And then we also are going to talk about positive thinking. Yes. And this one right here is the guru of that. And so we're going to talk more about that. It's going to be good. So thank you guys for joining us.
Excited.
That's your cousin, Sheree Frank Scott. Yes. Is that the one you were talking about?
No. This is another cousin from Connecticut.
Well, thank you for...
I love you, Sheree.
All right, Connecticut's in the house. Thank you.
Eddie from Florida.
Come on, Florida.
Yes.
So feel free to share this. Y'all like the page.
Yes,
I want y'all to join and join me every week. It'll be good. So Micah Stampley kills this rendition.
I know Micah perfect.
Do you?
Yeah, I text him all the time.
What? Okay. So I didn't realize I have a celebrity in the studio.
No.
But no.
Dr. Fletcher, that's his son. Yeah, and that's my pastor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so he comes to our church like every other Sunday. And does full
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I was in the hotel this week.
Yeah.
And this popped up. I was like,
yeah, he's amazing. Amazing.
Love it.
Amazing.
Love it.
His voice is I was like, Mikey, I'm thinking you're gonna sing at my wedding, and
right.
I was playing him a song one day. He started cracking up. I'm like,
right.
I really am serious.
Wow.
Whenever that's gonna be, guys.
Well, hey,
put it
come
out
on,
there
put it out there. That's right. That's it.
Yeah.
So thank you guys from the 6. Okay, cool, awesome. Thank you for joining us again.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to come visit y'all's church.
Yes, please do.
I've heard great things.
Oh, please do.
I've heard great things. So.
Please do.
My Toby actually made this.
Yes.
Did you?
She made that.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, she made like
branding.
Yes, right.
Love
this and then my website, all that stuff. My logo. I mean, it's like wow. So.
She's amazing.
Good morning. The city is still connected. All right. Thank you, Brandy. Thank you for connecting with us. Thank you. All right, here we go.
Okay.
All right, stay tuned, guys. And that was Micah Stampley with You Raise Me Up. This is The Positivity Push with your host, Antonio Santoro. And the reason why I started off this show with You Raise Me Up by Micah Stampley was because I've got a guest in the studio that we're going to be chatting with throughout this hour of The Positivity Push, Kristen Hopkins. And I'm going to introduce her and chat with her throughout this hour. And she raises people up daily. And so she is phenomenal, and I'm so glad. But let me just get through all the formalities. I want to welcome all the listeners this bright Saturday morning on 103.5 over the airwaves for your dose of positivity. I want to thank you guys again for joining us, and the viewers, that's right, the viewers on the Positivity Push page of Facebook, and you can tune into the studio with us every Saturday morning or even after that, because the broadcasts are left up throughout the week. While you're at it, visit thepositivitypush.com. If you missed a broadcast, if you missed a show, All of my shows are on there, as well as some empowerment tips and that kind of thing. So feel free to join me there and follow me on all social media. If this is your first time viewing the Positivity Push, feel free to just sit back and enjoy this hour of positive vibes. Welcome to the most positive place on the planet, located in the corner of Carborough and Chapel Hill, North Carolina. This is your feel-good fix, and this show and movement is to inspire, encourage, and empower you through uplifting music and interviews. I want to thank you again for starting your weekend off out with me. But it's not just me, y'all. It's not just me. The Positivity Push wants to welcome an accomplished world changer into this studio. She has a compelling story that she uses to catapult callings. Like, that's what she does. She sees a calling in people's lives and she catapults them into their purpose. She is noted as a purpose producer, pulling purpose out of everyone she meets. She is my kind of people, pushing positivity wherever she goes. And in a society with, and we've talked about this before, in a society with insecurity being such an epidemic, my guest provokes the identity in others. And I'm honored to have a brand, a mogul, an author, a curriculum creator, and so much more. Kristen Hopkins in the studio. Kristen, say hello to the people.
Hello, wonderful, beautiful people. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Kristen Hopkins is, again, I'm just so grateful she's here because, and we'll talk, you'll see why I'm so glad she's here. She's really just phenomenal inside and out. So I'm thankful that you're here. We are going to dive more into our interview with Kristen here shortly. But first, we're going to listen to this song, This Is Me, by The Greatest Showman album. And I think it's a motion picture soundtrack. So this song really kind of encompasses what this show is all about. This Is Me, The Greatest Showman. All right. Have you heard this song?
I feel like I've heard this
It's really
song.
good. Yeah.
How it started.
Yeah. So good morning, guys. My twin brother's on. Thank you, Frankie, for joining me.
I didn't know you had a twin brother.
Yeah, identical.
That is
Identical.
If you wouldn't have told me that, I would have seen him somewhere. I was
Oh
like,
my gosh,
Antonio!
identical. He's up in Winston-Salem. I'm
Wow.
putting all of his business out.
That is so funny.
Oh my god, what? Totally messed that up, but whatever. Have no idea why that went to the next song. But anyway, yeah, I have a twin.
What's his name?
Frankie.
Frankie!
Frankie's
Hey,
Santoro.
Frankie, I feel like I know you.
Hey,
if I see you, I would just walk
we're-
up to you and give you a hug.
Right, we're a lot alike, but so different. And he's up early. This is really
Wow.
early for him.
Go, Frankie.
I mean, I've had this show. I'm putting him on blast. I've had this show for almost 3 months, and he's never joined me live. Listen,
Well, see, today's the day.
this is
man.
it because you're here. That's really what it is. That's
I'm
it.
at that
That's
purpose.
it. That's it. I'm telling you because yeah, I put him on blast. He
Yeah.
sleeps in a little too late. I don't like it, but whatever. It's all good. Good morning, Frankie. He says good morning. So
Good morning.
So you guys know what to do. Share this on your Facebook. Frankie said shade. That's right. Shade. Straight up. So thank you guys for joining us. All right, y'all. So listen, this is going to be a great show of purpose. And I'm so glad Kristen's in the building. Y'all, I need you guys, what's your website?
dangersofthemind.com.
All right. So dangersofthemind.com. She travels around the nation and even the world, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
travels around the world as well.
Yeah.
And she is a speaker. Again, so filled with so many gifts. And so if you want to book her, by all means, go to dangersofthemind.com. I'll post it on the Facebook page as well to join in as well, and book her. That'll be really, really good. And while you're at it, again, like this page if you haven't already, and we'll get this ball rolling. So.
Oh, yeah, you can follow Dangers of the Mind on Instagram. Or on Facebook or Twitter.
Yes.
Whatever you prefer.
Dangers of the Mind.
Yes.
Boomerang. Awesome. All right, I have to say I enjoy watching you every Saturday. Thank you, Michelle, for joining me and being a faithful viewer. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Oh, I gotta send you this one.
Yeah. Love that. Oh. And that was This Is Me by The Greatest Showman soundtrack ensemble. And we are here live, the Positivity Push with Antonio Santoro, with my guest, Kristen Hopkins. Again, say hello to the people this morning, Kristen.
Hi, beautiful people. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to dive in and to tell you all about what we're about to talk about
Yes,
today.
I'm so glad. Yes, I'm excited as well. And again, thank you for joining me. I was blessed to meet my guest, Kristen Hopkins, just a few months ago through a social justice event that I put on. Raleigh-Durham area in North Carolina, and we immediately clicked. I knew she had to be on my show. We were having some lunch, and I was like, hey, you're a believer, I'm a believer. Like, we had so much stuff going on, and she is so special. So she's full of gifts, as I mentioned, and full of life, and my words can no longer do justice. So I'm going to formally introduce her through her bio and her introduction. So let's get through this. As a young rising leader from a small town in Connecticut, Kristen's views of the world has heightened as she's made her mark on a global scale. That's right, global, during her temporary relocation to Beijing, China, working for the 2008 Olympics as a flash quote reporter, where she was forced to adapt to a new way of living and communicating. At the age of 22, Kristen was functioning as the principal partner and chief creative officer of her very own business, KH2 Public Relations. Throughout her tenure there, Kristen gained regional and global notoriety and was bestowed the prestigious 30 and Under Award for Women of Excellence in Leadership. I'm going to say that again. Bestowed the prestigious award 30 and Under Award for Women of Excellence in Leadership. Due to the quick rise in success, Kristen became complacent and soon lost it all through a series of traumatizing incidents. Driven by enthusiasm and a desire to see not only herself but others live up to their fullest potential, Kristen undertook the task of reflecting on her mistakes to write and publish her first book, Dangers of the Mind, which has remarkably revolutionized her lifestyle brand and presented further opportunities to touch and change lives. Using this brand, Kristen has helped to identify the dangers of the mind that people encounter daily. And she's helped implemented concepts and strategies to help combat the attacks against everyday throughout thought life. As a result, she has also written and published Dangers of the Mind 30-Day Affirmation Challenge Edition as a principal way to enhance thought life through the power of speaking positively into the atmosphere daily. Dangers of the Mind has been presented throughout speaking, virtual coaching, Danger Zone power calls, a clothing line, and more. She was afforded the rare opportunities to collaborate with Russell Simmons' Event for Ethics of Understanding Foundation in the pursuit of providing equality amongst multicultural future leaders. Kristen Hopkins in the studio, giving her a shout out and applause for this. Again, I'm so grateful to have you. We're talking about, again, purpose and thought-provoking, a positive thought life and provoking a positive life through our thoughts. And so, again, I've got a mogul and someone that is in the studio that is going to be speaking on this, and it's great. But first, let's talk a little bit about affirmations in April. So, you know, every month I've got some challenges that I put out there for the viewers and the listeners, and this month is affirmations in April. This month we are making affirmations in April. What you speak, you will see. What are you saying? Start with one affirmation a day and speak it throughout the day. Watch your words. Create your world. So my affirmation for today is that I will live in abundance. I will live in abundance.
I love that.
So Kristen, tell us, what affirmation will you speak on today?
I will speak on today that I will not allow fear to stop me. And this is for anyone that's listening. We will not allow fear to stop us.
That's right. Because fear really does stop us.
It
cripples
us.
Yeah, it does. It cripples us. We'll talk more about that. So good.
Yeah.
We're already dropping bars. I love it. So today's topic is something we all have. The show is pivotal for all to watch. So I need everybody on the Positivity Push Facebook page to share this broadcast because everybody has this. In a world of differences, all have one thing in common: purpose. Everything in our life happens for a reason. The relationships you come across, the experiences we have, it's all for this moment. And this moment is for the next moment. All of this contributes to our purpose. And our guest, the purpose producer herself, Kristen Hopkins, is going to speak about more of this. Kristen, you're a brand, a mogul, an accomplished world changer. We all know you didn't get this overnight. And so I want you to tell us a little bit about your story. What experiences did you have, and how did you overcome those to create your purpose?
Yeah, sure. So I graduated from Delaware State University, Hornets.
All right.
And in a world where we were in a big recession at the time. And so it was about 2009. And in that, since I did those really good internships in China, and I was in Washington working with a prestigious PR firm, and I was working with Vice President Biden. I was doing a lot of really good things at a young age. So when I got out of college, I got offered a really good job to do PR for a corporate for McDonald's. And so I went back home to my hometown in Connecticut, and I did that. And I remember my parents, they had left me this 5-bedroom house because they moved to North Carolina. So they left it for me and my sister. And when I say left, like they were like, you guys can stay here temporarily. We're going to sell it, you know, so don't get confused. But we'll just give you the foundation to kind of get your life together. And so when I went into corporate, I just knew it was not for me. I knew I loved my job, though. Actually, my boss gave me a lot of leeway. So at the age of 21, you know, I was like literally walking into presentations with millionaires that own McDonald's and presenting in front of them, and that was an amazing experience to be so young and to be leading presentations, and then also to be going into radio stations. I would do on-air radio interviews. I would bring back cafes, and it was so funny. I remember an experience where I brought a cafe and I didn't drink coffee one day, and so the guy was like, "Hey, drink it, back here," because there was one left, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm cool." And so then I had to drink it on air, and so I got back to my office, and my boss was like, "Whoa, did you have a cafe?" Because I was like running around.
All over the place.
So ever since then I've been hooked. But so from that experience I just realized that wasn't for me, and I also had started a company on the side. So I started a PR company with my one of my really good friends in Atlanta. We both graduated at the same time, and I flew out to Atlanta one time, and I was like, hey, listen, it's a recession. We both are really good at what we do. How about we start this company? And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I mean, like, we both are good. Like, we could just start by like freelancing and doing stuff like that. And her name was Katrina Highsmith. My name was Kristen Hopkins. So I was like, let's call it KH2. And that's how it came about. And so we started this company, and we were really young, and so I moved to Atlanta. I packed my whole car. Literally, I went on a road trip. I went from New York, stopped in New York, then went to DC and saw my aunt and uncle, and then went to North Carolina to stay with my parents for like a week. I was just on a little woo, and then I went to Atlanta, stayed with my god sister for a month, and then I found my first place in Buckhead, which is like unreal, like a Buckhead. So I lived there, and from that experience, I absolutely loved it, but I got success really quick and really young. And so from that, I became really complacent. And I started living way above my means. I started putting perception above everything. I live for everything else but for myself. I was lost. I started losing myself. And I started to do things that I knew wasn't the foundation of who I was. So I became really in a world where it started getting really blurry for me. And so 3 things happened in my life that changed my life. So I remember them distinctly, and actually they're in my book. I talk about how the first thing I was coming home from a club, and we were it was one of my friends at the time. He played in the NFL, so we were all having car service, and it was all of us in a car. We were all lit, turned up, coming home from the club, and he dropped me off at my car, and everybody's like, stay, it's raining, we're all about to still turn up. And I'm like, I was just persistent to go home that day. I really don't understand why. I was like, I'm going home. So I jumped in my car torrential downpours, and I had been drinking, and I was but I thought, I'm only 5 minutes from home. I was literally right up the street, and I hit this familiar corner that I hit all the time, and I saw all this water, but what did I do? I braked, and I wasn't supposed to, and so I spun around 7 times, smacked into a pole, car was wrapped around the pole. Now, mind you, when I opened my eyes from this, my phone, I was actually on the phone talking on speakerphone, the phone was back in my lap, and it was totally cracked up. The airbags were burning my face. So I opened the door, like, you know, a taxi driver was there. He's literally like touching my body, and he's telling me like she's alive, she's okay. He's telling the onlookers. And it was like when I opened my eyes, it had to be about 15 cars, like bright lights, and it was about 5 a.m. in the morning. And so I had been drinking, you know, and so he told me get in my car, and he asked me had I been drinking, and I told him yes. And he said, so the police gonna come, like, don't speak, you know, like, because, but the first thing, you know, that I'm thankful for is that I didn't hit anybody, you know, because that could have been a worse situation. But I look back, and when he told me am I okay, I'm like, I'm fine, you know, I didn't think anything was wrong, and I looked back and I found my car literally wrapped around a pole. So I don't even understand how I got out. So that was really like a message in itself, like, Kristen, you have to stop what you're doing. That day I remember, that night I remember, or that morning actually, because it was 5 a.m. I remember the cop coming to me and he's saying, is this your car? And I said, yeah. He said, I don't know who's watching over you, but you're not supposed to be here right now. And so that was my first warning sign. And the second warning sign was I was getting ready in my condo to go to a cookout, and I started hearing water, like, and I thought my dog was like licking water in the hallway. So I walked down the hallway and I seen like water shooting down my light, and then I seen it shooting out my second bathroom, and then I seen it shooting out my wall out of my kitchen. And so I was like, oh my God, my place is flooding. So I grabbed my dog, ran upstairs, come to find out this guy burst a vanity, and like he was trying to, you know, do something with his sink. He burst it came flooded down, so my place was flooded. So this isn't a matter of 2 months. So now I lost my car, I lost my condo, and then the last thing was I turned on my computer like probably not even 30 days later, and my computer was fried. So I lost my everything. Everything. So this is my transportation. This is the way I make my money, and this is where I live. So what did I do? I became super depressed, and so I went home, which is my parents were in Sanford, North Carolina at the time. And I was like, you know what? I had an opportunity to do some PR for some Zaxby's. One of my friends had some stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'll come back. Maybe this is God, or, you know, I'm going to come back and do this. And so I went to Sanford, and as soon as I walked in my parents' place, I heard dangers of the mind. And it was so clear. I didn't know what it meant. And so I literally wrote it down on a piece of paper and left it there. I remember it was in red writing. I only could find a red pen, and so I wrote it down. I'm like, why is this in red? It was so symbolic to me, but I didn't understand what it was. And then about 2 days later, I grabbed my mom's computer and I started writing. And as I was writing, I was crying. And so I didn't even remember like what I was writing. It was just so powerful. It was just coming out. And then about 3 hours later, I started reading what I wrote, and I was talking about every single attack that was happening against my thought life that shifted my progress. Everything that stopped me or delayed me from walking in my fullest purpose, from being the entrepreneur I knew I could be. So those dangers of the mind were brokenness. You know, it was fear, it was insecurity, it was perception, it was complacency, it was ego, it was pride, it was distractions, it was everything that holds us back. And so when I wrote that book in 3 months, and then I started to finalize it, and I, you know, got a graphic designer, started self-publishing, researching. I didn't know how to self-publish. I didn't know anything about being an author. I didn't want to be an author. Like, let me make that clear. I did not want to be an author, and this is what we're going to talk about, purpose, because this was aligned with my purpose. And so I didn't want to be an author because I was in that PR field. I was in that stand back, work with the client, liaison, work from the client to the public. I was never really in the public light, you know, and so that's not what I wanted to do. But when I wrote the book, I remember I put the book out and I looked at the calendar, and it was clearly 9 months from when I started the book to when I put the book out. And I was so stuck on this date, June 14th. And I put it out June 14th, 2014. And I was like, why am I stuck on this date? Why am I stuck on this date? And so when I put it out, literally literally, I just put it out on Amazon. I put it out, told my friends, hey, I got a book. I didn't promote it. I didn't do anything.
Right.
And I do PR, but it was like I didn't feel the need to. And when I did that, I put it out in June. I got my first speaking engagement in September, and I spoke to over 700 students. Wow. And it was paid. Wow. And so that shows you that the alignment was there all along. And when I put it out, people was like calling me and was like, Kristen, this book resonates with me. Like, I have the same dangers of the mind. Like, and I'm like, what? So I realized that I had coined something that was like that everyone had. And so that's how the dangers of the mind came about.
Wow. And see, that's the thing, what I love, and that is a powerful journey that she just explained and told us. And I think, again, the complacency, you feeling lost, being in a blur, like that all was a part of the recipe of your purpose. You had to go through those things. And so I want to encourage all those listeners, all those that are viewing on the Positivity Push Facebook page, and Kristen is as well, that we want you to realize that everything you're going through is for your purpose.
Absolutely.
It's going to work together for the good. Absolutely. And it really is ingredients to your purpose recipe, if you will. I mean, for you to realize that, again, all of this stuff, and you didn't realize it, I'm sure, in the right.
Absolutely
Nobody
not.
does. Nobody does.
Right.
In the moment, you're like depressed.
Yes.
Why are you feeling, why are you experiencing this? But you never see the light at the end of the tunnel, that this is really for purpose. I mean, we've got a book, we've got a curriculum, we've got a 30-day affirmation challenge. We've got so many things that have been birthed because
I have an intervention kit.
Right, an intervention kit, right.
In-school suspension.
Right. I mean, you've got, like, all of this stuff was birthed out of the pain.
Out of the pain.
I mean, I'm a dude, so I don't have, birth of babies or anything like that. But out of the pain of just holding this thing. And it finally was birthed. I mean, wow, that's powerful. And I want to ask you, how would you define purpose for those that are listening and watching? How would you define purpose, and then how can we find it?
So I would say this. First of all, I want you guys to think about what would you do for free, because purpose is not about the money.
Right.
Purpose is your calling. It's what you were designed on this earth for. It's what your gifts have for you, where your gifts are, how do you pull them out. So what would you do for free? When I speak, when I do conferences, when I do workshops, I always ask people to write down, what would you do for free if no one paid you? Now that's passion. So when you find passion, purpose is not too far away. So you have to find the passion first. Passion equals purpose. And it's really important that you find your passion. What are you passionate about? Every day I wake up, I'm passionate. Right. I love what I do. I love to inspire. I love people. I love to pull out gifts. I love to pull out purpose, because people sometimes need that. They need that extra push in order to, and that's why I love the positivity push. I was like, oh my God, this is brilliant when you told me about this, because it's encouraging and it's positive, and that's what we need more of. That's so true. And so when I think about purpose and what it looks like, it's really about, where is your passion? What do you have passion for? Once you find that passion, your purpose is right there. It's like a hand stretch away. And so once I found my passion, because I will be honest with you, I don't know if I was passionate about PR. I loved it, but passionate, no, like this is a whole nother life for me. What I'm doing feels like purpose led. Like I feel like I wake up and I feel like my feet are heavy. I feel like I'm walking with a mission and I'm walking with purpose. And when you're walking with purpose, it's aligned with your destiny. It's aligned. And I always say that I have a quote that says, the position of your mind determines the posture of your life. So it's really important to me for people to understand that the position of your mind determines the posture, how you sit up, how you carry yourself. A lot of times we're hunched over, the posture of our life is really jacked up, and we have to realize that, how are our thoughts on a daily basis? What do they look like? Just like a position in a job, that's a position of our minds. Every day we wake up, are they positive or are they negative? If they're negative, your life is going to be crippled. Your life is going to be hunched down. Your life is going to be, in this ball. But if they're positive, you're confident. You have this certain type of posture and this demeanor to you that like brings out the confidence in you. And so it's really important to be able to understand what you would do for free if no one paid you, because the money will come. I've learned that all the time. Everything that I didn't do it for the money. I did it because it was in me and it had to come out of me. And once it was out of me, I'm like, whew, okay. now something's gonna happen.
Right.
I just believe, and you have to have faith. Faith is attached to anything. You have to have faith in what you're doing, because if you don't believe, no one else is gonna believe.
That's exactly right.
You can't allow someone or think someone is gonna pour into you if you can't pour into yourself.
That's so true.
And so you have to have faith in every single ability that you believe you have, every skill if you have, even if you have to brush up on it, you have to have faith even in reading about your skills and understanding. I was put in a totally different field. I'm in education right now.
Right.
Like, this is not even, like, what I'm doing is not even heard of for someone to just slip into education.
Right.
I'm into social and emotional education. I deal with students on a daily basis that have social and emotional issues and try to impact them. So I have to be skilled and I have to be confident in my skill. And if I don't know something, I'm not going to be like, oh, I know this. No, I'm going to teach myself. I'm about self-teaching.
Yes.
I believe in that. So it's all about really, once you feel that you have that passion, study that, have faith in yourself with that, and that purpose will come.
Yes. And this is a great segue into our song. We're going to be right back with my guest, Kristen Hopkins. I'm telling you, she's dropping nuggets of knowledge and just a rich conversation about purpose this morning. And we're going to be right back after Justin Bieber's song.
Yes.
Purpose.
That's awesome.
Really good. Really good. The position of your mind determines the posture. Yes, Alexandria. Yes. Hashtag powerful.
Yes.
So,
thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate you guys. Again, Antonio Santoro, Positivity Push, and my guest, Kristen Hopkins, is in the building. And so I'm grateful again that she's here. Excuse me. I hope you guys are enjoying this interview. If you guys have questions for her or comments, feel free to do so. But we're talking again about purpose, and we're about to go into our way of thinking. Yeah, wow, such an inspiration. Yes,
awesome.
She is an inspiration.
Thank
So if you guys have anything to say, feel free to comment, share on your Facebook if you've not done so already.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Good.
More. I could talk all day.
I love it. I know. You know what? The thing is like, I was almost every guest are like, gosh, this is only an hour.
I know.
Like we're just going.
Oh,
it's
man.
so good.
Yeah. This is what fuels me. Like, I'll go back and write a book off just this conversation.
Yeah.
It just makes me like,
right.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, and what you said is so true. It's like, what are you willing to do for free? Because again, that's really what fuels our purpose.
Oh yeah, I mean, and a lot of people are so concerned with the money and how much it costs, and that's gonna come. It's always gonna come, but it's really about figuring out what you're passionate about. Because when the money's not there, you have to fuel yourself, and then when the money comes, you still gotta fuel yourself.
Right.
So it's
I mean,
like,
and your gift to make room for you. And so I'm one of these believers that again, you do it. Like you said, the money's going to come. Like, am I getting paid for this radio show?
Yeah.
No, I'm not getting paid for this radio show.
But it's going to come.
But I'm loving its purpose.
It's
like,
purpose.
I mean, it fuels
and you're walking in it. And when you're walking your purpose, everything else aligns. And it feels amazing. Like, if like I could just tell you the people that's come into my life, like even from traveling to Haiti and Ghana and putting the curriculum out, that's purpose.
Right.
That's passion. And so, and it's also just like incredibly like what in the world's going on, but those things happen when you walk in purpose. And so I always tell people in my books, I say walk in purpose, live on purpose. I always write that because you have to live on purpose.
So
don't
true.
live by mistake.
Don't live by. That's exactly
right.
Let's
not exist, but let's
live.
Live.
Right. So good.
Yeah.
So good.
But I feel this, so I'm gonna just try my best not to let this happen.
This is Justin Bieber?
It is.
He's I love him actually. He's on a whole nother walk right now.
Yes,
God,
he is.
I think
I'm loving that.
Amazing.
Because again, like, he has such an influence and platform.
Oh, absolutely.
And for him to find himself.
Yeah, it's a beautiful journey.
It is. I think he goes to Hillsong up in New York.
Really?
I think he goes to that, that church up
Hillsong
there.
is amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I mean, I got a great guest. She makes it easy. All right, y'all. Stay tuned. And that was Purpose by Justin Bieber. You're listening to The Positivity Push live on 103.5 FM WCOM Chapel Hill Carborough Community Radio Station, as well as The Positivity Push Facebook page. Go like the page and watch the broadcast. I'm here with my guest, Kristen Hopkins, in the studio. But I want to give a quick plug for our sponsor, Alpha Boot Camp, located in Durham, North Carolina. Check them out on Facebook.com, The Alpha Boot Camp by Will Hopkins. He was actually a guest of mine about a month ago. And if you want to be a sponsor, check out thepositivitypush.com and feel free to contact me. It'll be good stuff. So we are talking about purpose, and now we're going to continue that with how we're creating our purpose. With purpose and with our experiences, contributing to them, we must have the right mind to walk in our purpose. Kristen, my guest, talked a little bit about that prior to the last song. And she is the author of Dangers of the Mind. This book has been a powerful tool to unlock negative thinking and allowing us to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. So tell us, Kristen, the importance of positive thinking. How can we maintain a positive mind and not slip into that negative perspective and paradigm?
Well, the first importance is you have to make sure that you remain around a positive circle of people. One of the chapters in my book talks about recreating your atmosphere. And in that time, I had to literally recreate myself, who I was. I had to get that self-love again. I had to get that self-peace again. And then I also had to weed out people that I just felt were negative at the time and weren't speaking into my life or weren't influencing me. One of my favorite quotes that is my quote, I say is, know your power so that your influence can live up to it. And it's really important to me because if you don't know your power, if you don't know your influence, if you don't know how many people you can reach on a daily basis, so many of us are powerful and we limit ourselves by our audience and the people that we're around. And so it's very important to have people in your life that impact you, that pour into you, that speak to you, and that they don't knock down your dreams because or project their fears on you. You've got to be careful with those people because if you tell, and who you tell your dreams to, you know, because a lot of people that, you know, I used to talk to, they'd be like, oh yeah, that's crazy, girl, but you know, you might got this, but it's like, no, not might, I do have it.
That's
you know,
right.
I do have it, and I'm going to speak into my own life if you don't want to speak into me. And so you have to be careful who you surround yourself with and who you tell your visions to and who you tell your dreams to, and you're making sure that they're not projecting those fears on you. And so keeping a positive mind is that's the first part, making sure that you weed out all those, you know, people in the garden that's not right, you know, that's spoiling your pot. And so you have to be very cognitive of those people and discerning of those people as well. And then the way I'll tell you my daily routine is, of course, I wake up and I pray, but I also speak affirmations every single day. And when I say I speak affirmations, like I project it, like I will prosper in all of my endeavors. Everything I touch will win. You know, it will turn to gold. Every person that I speak to will be influenced and impacted, and their minds will shift. Like I speak this every single day. And when I speak it, I don't just speak it, but I believe it and I leave it there. You know, a lot of times we speak things and then we worry about it, or we constantly think about it, and that's not faith. That's not believing in your abilities. You have to speak it, and you have to speak it with boldness, and then you have to walk away and leave that thing right there and say it's gonna happen. And so it's important to do that on a daily basis, because what that does is it trains your mind to start thinking that even if you don't believe that you're powerful, it starts training you to believe that you're powerful. If you continue to say something and continue to look in the mirror and say, I am powerful, I will conquer, I will be the best that I can be, that is how you train yourself to be able to say every morning, I am the best. You know, I will be the best. Even if I don't feel the best, I will perform in excellence today. Because that's what I say to myself. That's what I'm speaking in my atmosphere. And speaking in your atmosphere is so crucial. It is. It's so needed. It's so timely for this generation. You know, it's just not even, it's just timely for this generation and where we're at right now. You have to speak into your atmosphere because no one else will. And you got everything negative speaking in it. Absolutely. You know, you've got, again, distractions, perception, brokenness, ego. You've got so many things speaking into it. Y'all, I need you to go check out dangersofthemind.com. Dangers of the Mind 30-day affirmation challenge. She's speaking about affirmations and declarations every day in our walk, every day to live that life. I mean, on the back it says, know your power so that you
that your influence can live up to it.
Yes.
Your power creates that influence.
Yes.
And this Dangers of the Mind 30-day affirmation challenge, everything she's saying is right here in this small pocket-sized book that is such a powerful, packed book. So check that out. I wanted to give a quick plug on that.
Yeah.
So again, creating that circle of accountability and support in your life, the daily affirmations and declarations. I love that. While we're talking about Dangers of the Mind, I want you to plug and talk a little bit about your actual book, Dangers of the Mind. You talked about the journey of writing that. Tell us about that.
So after I wrote this book, I'll just tell you a little bit about the chapters and how it came about. Because I wrote this book really funny. I wrote like the first chapter first, and I went to the fifth chapter. Fourth chapter. Then I went back to the second chapter. I wrote it because I actually was going through it as I was writing it.
Okay, gotcha.
And so I was super authentic in this and so real. I talked about entrepreneurship. I talked about the journey. I talked about the failures. I talked about the success. I talked about everything that hindered me and stopped me from walking in my fullest purpose. And I believe that every day we have to walk in purpose and live on purpose.
That's it.
We have to live on purpose. Every day we wake up, we have to live with purpose. What are we doing today?
Yes.
Who are we influencing today? How are we speaking into someone else's life? And that's the thing that I believe in wholeheartedly is speaking into someone else's life. It's going to come back around to me. You know, I pour out every single day. I speak every single day into the atmosphere, but I also speak into people.
Right.
You know, I'm very gifted to be able to see beyond what you see.
Yes.
And so I see the potential in you, you know, besides what you may see in yourself.
Sure.
And that is a gift in itself. So when I walk to people, you know, I was at this open mic the other day, and I was with a friend. And I was in there and I was like, oh, you know, this is great. And I kept seeing this guy, and he had like a bubbly spirit.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, jamming. And I was like, oh my God, I just know he doesn't know how many gifts he has in him. And my friend was like, stop.
Right,
like, you're going to do it
right.
again. And I'm like, nope, I'm doing it. And so I like walked up to the guy and I started talking to him. And he was so blessed. You know, he was just so impacted. And he was like, you know what? I feel these gifts every day and I feel like I'm not using them. And I feel like you guys are doing disservices. When you don't use your gifts, it's a disservice.
Yes.
Like your gifts are supposed to make room for you.
That's right.
But they're also supposed to be in this world. You're supposed to put them out to the world. Generations are supposed to see them. This shirt that I'm wearing, Legacy Over Likes, is a part of my clothing line.
Yes.
And I wear this and I believe it because a lot of times in this world, we're so caught up on the likes and we're living for validation from other people. And that's not how we're supposed to live.
Exactly.
You know, and if you look at all the greats back in the day and all the people that have made a name for themselves, they were living for the legacy. They were living for when we die, what do we stand for? You know, and that's what I'm living for. I'm living for legacy. I'm living for generational wealth. I'm living to teach my kids, my future kids that are not even born yet, to what it looks like to stand for something. Even if the world may look against you, this is what I stand for. This is my gift. And this is the things that you guys have to project into the world. So Dangers of the Mind, it first initially talked about all the different dangers of the mind, and then it went into breaking the chains of distraction. So now you know the dangers of the mind, then it talks about how do we break those chains of distraction so that those dangers of mind don't come back.
That's it.
And then we talk about recreating your atmosphere. So after you recreate your atmosphere, what time is it now? It's time to proclaim your vision. It's time to start bringing out those vision boards. And when I say bringing out those vision boards, I'm not talking about just, okay, I'm going to make my vision for 2018. We're going to have a party. Woo! No. Like, you need to look at that vision board every day and speak that in the atmosphere. That's the problem with people. They make these vision boards and they have these wonderful parties, and that vision board goes in their closet and you never see about it. You never see it. You have to look at that vision board and really believe that those things will come to pass. And so proclaiming your vision was the fourth chapter, and then the fifth chapter was preparing for greater. And the crazy thing is, I didn't even know what my greater was at the time, and I kept hearing release a book, release a book, release a book, release a book, and I'm like, but I don't know what my greater is. Like, what is my greater? And so just from releasing this book, my greater was to touch the lives of all these people that have read my book, you know, since 2014. And this book is still being ordered and still being where people are reaching out all over saying, hey, I just read your book. And the reason why I wrote it, and it's only 100, almost like 97 pages, no, 80 pages. And I wrote it so so short because I felt like that people needed to find something quick.
Yes.
They need to find something powerful and something that they can digest within an hour and some change. And so people will call me and say, hey, I just read your book on the train, or, text me or inbox me. I just read your book on the plane. And that's powerful to me, that I can get you to read something and comprehend something. The biggest thing about my book too is I'm big on reading and comprehending. So I don't like you just to read it, but I like you to write. Yes. And so there's journal entries at the end of each chapter.
Awesome.
And so you say breaking the chains of abstraction, then I'm asking you who's in your circle that you need to cut off.
Right, right.
You know that song, Cut It.
Right, cut it.
You gotta cut them off.
That's
you know,
right.
and it's urgent, it's timely, and so you have to be obedient when it comes to that.
That's so good. And and that journal piece really is. I mean, this book right here, Danger of the Mind. It's really an accountability book.
It's
for you.
accountability.
I mean, it really allows you to really assess your life and assess your thought patterns and how it's contributing to your life, and then breaking those chains of distraction and the dangers of the mind here. I mean, it's power packed. So I need you guys to check it out. dangersofthemind.com. She's going to plug herself at the end of this show. Yeah. But we're going to wrap this thing up right after this song. I mean, it's just perfect song for where we're at right now. Free Your Mind by In Vogue. It's a throwback, but I love it. It's so good. Y'all get ready for it.
Yes.
So good. Yeah. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Welcome to the Positivity Push. We're about to wrap this thing up in about 7 minutes or so. And I've got my guest, Kristen Hopkins, in the studio this morning. And she is dropping crazy bars this morning. Such knowledge, and I'm so grateful for her. So thank you guys again for joining us. We're going to wrap this thing up shortly. Yeah. The Positivity Push, thepositivitypush.com. So
she sounds great.
Oh my gosh, she's a natural, right? A natural. All right. So if you guys have not already, share this broadcast on your Facebook page and be inspired, empowered, and encouraged with the Positivity Push. With Kristen Hopkins. Thank you so much, Mom.
Let me know if you guys have any questions.
Yes,
I would
if you
love
have
to answer
questions,
some questions.
That would be great.
Anything.
So again, thank you guys for joining me, waking up and winning with us on the Positivity Push. We're talking about positive minds, positive thinking, and let's see, and also our purpose. So thank you guys for joining us.
Can you do me one favor? Would you ever take a picture of us?
Yeah, as soon as this show's over, we're gonna get a picture. Okay. I can get a picture of my guest.
Yes.
Alrighty, so we are going to wrap this up.
Okay.
The last thing we're going to do is just last positive PowerPoints. Anything that you have to just kind of wrap it up.
Okay.
And then plug your stuff.
Okay.
And then we'll end this. It has to end in like 5 minutes or so we're good. Thank you so much, Alan. Thank you guys for commenting and sharing on your Facebook page. Appreciate it. Again, thank you for your support. All right. And that was In Vogue with Free Your Mind. I think that's just such a pertinent song to be playing this morning to wake you up and win with the Positivity Push with Antonio Santoro and my guest, Kristen Hopkins. We've been talking about purpose this morning and how our positive thinking, freeing our minds and allowing positive paradigms and perspectives to really infiltrate our mindsets can contribute to the purpose that we have and we're called to have. So again, Kristen, thank you for joining me this morning on the Positivity Push.
Thank you for having me.
So we're going to wrap this thing up with just some positive PowerPoints. What are some positive PowerPoints that you can just really drive home with the viewers and listeners?
Well, I just want you guys to remember to make sure that you know your power so that your influence can live up to it. I think that is really, really important.
Yes.
Also, I want to remind you to understand who your circle of friends are. It can make or break you, and I am so serious about that.
Yeah.
Even the people that call you, and even if you're not talking, but they're talking to you,
yes.
that pours into your life, that pours into your mindset, that changes you. It creates who you are.
Right.
Even if you don't realize it, it is. And so you have to be careful of the friends that you have around you. Make sure that they're positive. Make
yes.
sure that they're speaking into your life. Make sure that they're believing in your dreams. Make sure you're doing the same thing for them as well.
Right.
You know, this is a vice versa. This is a two-way street here. You're not just want people to pour into you, but you want to pour into people also.
Correct.
So be that friend to someone that you want to be to you.
Yes.
And then also go after your dreams. Be hungry. Go after your purpose. If there's something that you've wanted to do for so long, I'm speaking to you.
Yes.
Do not take this lightly. You didn't join us by mistake. You didn't join us by accident. This is aligned for your life.
Right.
To hear this today, to be on this today. So if there's something in you that you know you're good at, there's a gift in you that you're fearful of, I always say that on the other side of fear is the best life you can ever imagine.
That's it.
And everything that I've did, I never wanted to be an author. I didn't even know what it looked like. And now I have 3 books and counting and a 4-year curriculum. I have a 4-year curriculum, guys. This is like, it blows my mind because people always talk about, I don't know what miracles look like. I am a living miracle every single day. When I wake up, I'm like, how in the world did I create all this?
Sure.
Literally, I was underwater one day and I literally got up one day and I'm like, where did all this come from? I have a clothing line. I have 95 brand ambassadors on different college campuses that rep Dangers of the Mind, that speak about our brand, that rep our clothes. Like, how did this happen?
Right.
All because I stepped out. I didn't allow fear to stop me, and I created one book. And from one book, I have 5 multiple streams of revenue.
That's it, y'all. That's it. And she didn't let fear get in the way.
Right.
And so, again, for myself, also, I want to drive home the point of, again, what you're going through, whether good, bad, or ugly, it really contributes to your purpose.
It does.
And she shared her story this morning about that.
Yes.
So, again, please know that your purpose is on the other side of fear. It's on the other side of obstacles that you're facing and the situations and circumstances that you're facing. So keep that in mind. If you will, plug yourself away. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Tell us.
So you can find me personally. My personal brand is Kristen D. Hopkins on Instagram, Kristen D. Hopkins on Twitter, and Kristen Hopkins on Facebook. Dangers of the Mind is just Dangers of the Mind on every platform, from Instagram to YouTube to Facebook to Twitter. And then www.dangersofthemind.com. I would love you guys to log on. As soon as you log on, you're going to see an amazing video before you even enter the site. So it's super exciting. You get to see a lot of the kids that are a part of our Dangers of the Mind program and our curriculum, and you get to see more about what we're doing in everyday life.
Yes, and that's it. Purpose, everyday living, waking up. Kristen's got one last thing.
I want to give you guys an affirmation from my 30-day affirmation book. So this says, I will persevere in the midst of opposition and adversity because I'm walking with greatness in me. And then the night affirmation says, I will conquer every day because I understand that purpose does not come without pressure.
Oh, that's it right there.
Yes.
Purpose does not come without pressure. Because again, and I think about diamonds, right?
Yeah.
Diamonds have pressure on them, but they come out looking all shiny and looking good. It's great. So listen, you're a diamond in the rough, and you have purpose. You have a destiny with your name on it and an assignment, and walk with that thing. Walk boldly in that thing and be confident in that. So I want to thank Kristen Hopkins. Thank you again for joining me this morning on the Positivity Push.
You got me up and early.
I know, right?
Early.
And we're starting it off right.
Yes.
So again, thank you so much for being here.
I'm
going to post all of her website and her information on the Positivity Push Facebook page. Feel free to go like that. Also go to thepositivitypush.com for more information. And feel free to reach out to me, Antonio at thepositivitypush.com.
Awesome.
So again, thank you so much for joining me, Kristen. And thank you for the viewers and listeners for joining me on The Positivity Push. That is our show this morning. I hope you enjoyed the music and the message of purpose and positive thinking. I'm Antonio Santoro, host of The Positivity Push. I'll be back next Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want you to have a winning weekend and week ahead filled with purpose, filled with positive affirmations and declarations in your life. Stay tuned for Rocco and the music call from 9 to noon. And always remember, be positive.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us.
I saw someone say something in the comments. I couldn't see it. It might be up, but they were saying something about they had a question or is it?
Oh, thank you so much. Yep. I'll have to look at that. Yeah. Rocco, do you mind taking our picture real quick? All right, guys. Listen, I'm going to wrap this up. Say goodbye to the people.
Bye.
All right.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you guys for joining us. The Positivity Push. Danger to the Mind, Kristen, Hopkins. Thank you guys again for joining us and starting your weekend off right with us, okay? All right, y'all have a great day, winning weekend, and week ahead. All right, be positive.